But we also have to be very clear. Obesity, that's what the WHO says, not me, is a disease.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Adnan Does It. Today, Body Positivity Part 2, a reaction video to 13 questions. Let's get right into it.
Daniel, do you want to respond to that?
Sure, so as I understand it, most overweight people live unhealthily, don't exercise, and are therefore unhealthy. Well, that's just how it came across.
Sorry.
I couldn't care less about his feelings, so my answer would be yes.
Then I truly apologize. That's not what I meant. What I was trying to say is, if you live healthy, exercise regularly, and eat well, then it's possible you might also end up looking better. I don't even know why I keep talking about appearance. That's really your topic.
Because that's internalized fat phobia.
Oh wow, internalized fat phobia. So a doctor and a nutritionist telling you, this is for your own health. You'll live longer and better if you move more and eat healthier, is extremely fat phobic? Unbelievable.
I'm really sorry, but that's just how it is.
You don't need to apologize.
Yeah, I know. But look, I go to the doctor. Strange example, but I went to the gym almost every day for 6 months. I swam, and I only lost 5 kilos. And then someone like you comes along and says, I don't work out. I'm not into sports. I'm not this, not that.
How could he possibly think she's not athletic? These people always start some diet or exercise, which is a good first step. But unfortunately, they throw in the towel. Afterwards, they eat the towel and everything else. She should definitely start exercising again and stick with it, so she's not out of breath after 3 sentences.
I don't work out. Please let me finish. This discrimination at the doctors affects so many people in my community. I have to stand up and say, look, when you go to the doctor, you don't have to write down your weight. You can say, if it's medically necessary.
She's literally making the doctor's job harder on purpose. Where does this thinking end? If a doctor diagnoses you with lung cancer and asks, do you smoke? Would you say that's none of his business? That he's smoker phobic and trying to shame people who are smoking? That's like me not using a turn signal while driving because it's none of other people's business where I'm going. Completely insane.
Then you get your blood tested. It's such a huge topic. And sorry, but what you said was such a stereotypical answer, you know? I think we should all agree on that it is important that people are healthy, no matter how they look.
And I think everyone should be rich no matter what or how much effort they put in their daily life. But that's not how the world works. Just like we can't change reality and stereotypes, and the fact that healthy people with healthy lifestyles tend to be healthier. And yes, look better. Surprise!
Can you understand that? I think this is really interesting. I noticed a few times you said things like, looks better or more attractive. So, can you understand that? Because I think it's important to talk about what Tanya just mentioned, this internalized fat phobia. That automatic assumption you get when you see a fat person. Oh, I see that body. It must be unhealthy and...
Here we have got a host who should stay neutral in her position. But instead, she joins in calling the doctor fat phobic just for doing his job and presenting medical facts. Medically speaking, it's crystal clear. Obese people are unhealthy, and they don't look good. I mean, look at her. She looks like the dad from Dinosaurs, right? And I would bet my balls she is not healthy.
And less attractive. Can you understand that? Let's stay on this for a second.
I completely understand. I get where you're both coming from. I didn't mean it that way, and at least give me the chance to apologize and make my point.
It's okay. I just want to say how many people, now that I've calmed down a bit, I know from my community who don't go to the doctor. And that is the real problem, you know. People avoid it. They are scared they will be discriminated again. They get told dumb stuff. It really affects them mentally.
It's their own fault if they don't go to the doctor because they choose to be offended when the doctor says, "You're 50 kilos over what's medically healthy for your height and body fat index. You have to lose weight." If you see that as an insult, that is your own problem. That is the truth. Honestly, I'd say, "Hey, pancake lover, stop eating cake until your arms go numb, or your cholesterol will tear your heart apart like a pack of hungry wolves."
I used to be extremely unfit and overweight myself. Just the chubby kid?
Even worse that you talk like that.
This guy is a perfect example of how to do it right. He faced his own problem and worked hard to fix it. Now he's a doctor, a nutritionist, and looks fantastic. Fit, radiant, healthy. But if you're a lazy, selfish narcissist, of course you'd rather blame the world than admit that you don't want to change. Love me just the way I am. Not just accept me, find me beautiful too. That makes zero sense.
But I just tried to clarify that.
I get it. But I want to make you aware, now that you're in a different place, that you should be a role model for how to behave.
Okay, thank you. I am really trying to. But I do want to clarify one more thing, because it is really important to me. Of course, being overweight has health consequences. Do you think it's discriminatory to say that?
No, it can be, but it doesn't have to be.
Daniel, have you had similar experiences? What's it like for
Yes,
you?
definitely. Especially with advertising on social media, I can confirm that. I experienced it again and again. It's just really hard for overweight men in Germany in general.
Of course, top sports brands aren't paying him to advertise. The whole idea of marketing is use top athletes, have them wear your gear in commercials or private life just to say, train like him, wear what he wears, buy from us, and you'll look like that. These athletes are portrayed like superheroes. And who wants to look at him? If he would be a superhero, his name could be Captain Double Chin.
I just find it difficult. Every time we talk about health, it's always only about physical health. But if you get caught up in this whole thing, like really, you wake up in the morning, make your bowl, then you work out, then you do this and that. Your day becomes so structured, you might start noticing changes in your body that you actually like. But mentally, you might not be healthy anymore because you're stuck in this cycle, constantly thinking, I need to optimize myself, and more and more. And I think overall, that's just really tough.
Oh, perfect excuse. I won't even start exercising because too much exercise and healthy eating are also unhealthy. I don't think he is in that danger.
And the pressure you put on yourself.
Exactly. The pressure you put on yourself and you feel from all sides.
I'd really like to come back to that, because mental health is actually one of my favorite topics, I'd say. You're absolutely right, especially when someone gets caught up in extremes like that. But we also have to acknowledge that, statistically, people who are extremely overweight are more likely to suffer from mental health issues.
Ooh, no facts and reality, please. Okay? Of course, these people are more prone to depression, as clearly shown in this study. And yeah, if walking from the living room to the bathroom gives you shortness of breath, heart palpitations, and thigh chafing, you're obviously going to be less happy and more prone to depression. When you're completely invisible to society and to the opposite sex, despite your massive size, of course, that has mental consequences.
Come on, guys, do me a favor. I'm just stating a fact.
I get that you and your...
No, sorry. If you say it's because they're being discriminated against and so on, then I'd be willing to meet you halfway. But now you've taken a step back just because I mentioned a fact. And honestly, I think that's not okay. That's a huge problem. That you can't even state a statistical fact anymore.
There are probably statistics that say something else.
There are probably statistics that say something else.
Yeah? Name one. I doubt it. Unless it was made by some body positivity activist, and sure, that one would also show depression, but it would just shift all the blame onto discrimination, so that it's always someone else's fault. Because obviously it's always others who need to change, never them.
Yeah, of course, those always exist. But let me just say this clearly one more time. There's a difference between a fact and an interpretation. And honestly, I was really scared to come here. And maybe with good reason.
Come on, we're here to discuss. We're not here to hold hands. But we're here. We want to discuss on equal terms. And I think we can do that, right?
Yeah, sure. As long as you don't say facts, truths, opinions, or anything she doesn't like, then a normal conversation is totally possible. No issues.
So, and if I or someone else has a different opinion, I think it's totally fine to say, sorry, but I don't think that's okay.
That's totally fine. But it has to be an opinion because I did not give my opinion, only facts.
But what you said, it's a fact. I'd simply challenge that. We'd need to check. Which statistic is that? What are the latest statistics? And so on. But we don't have the space for that right now.
Ta-da! There. The stats are even shown on the show. Well, seems like the doctor does have a bit of a clue about medicine and such. Nice.
The point I'm trying to make is the narrative you're creating. The one that says overweight people are, for the most part, depressed. That is just simply a difficult thing to say.
No, it's not. And here, the statistic.
No. That's not what I said at all.
I'd like to stop it here for a second because I'd like to ask you.
No. Now, they absolutely want to interrupt the discussion because their side is losing. They have absolutely no arguments against the doctor and his medical facts.
Tanya, what needs to change in the body positivity movement to reduce discrimination with a look into the future?
So, I think it would be important to take a look at the anti-discrimination law and also include the fact of weight. Because it is also a fact that discrimination, body shaming, is part of the everyday life of many overweight people. I believe we should consciously make more room at the table and see who needs this hashtag, who needs this reach.
The last thing these people need is more space at the table.
And I think we should just generally, broaden our horizons a bit. Look at, what can I do? Where can I support? Where can I maybe be part of making it better? Because, ultimately, I'd also want people to be healthier. We haven't even touched on the topic of eating disorders. I don't even want to open that because I'm affected by it too. But I think if we all know at the core that we should be happy, that we need to include mental health, physical health, that is key.
So to sum it up briefly, we should expand our horizons so much that we no longer see beautiful in what we see as beautiful today, but that we see them beautiful. Furthermore, we should protect this with the anti-discrimination law, which is there to protect people who can't help their appearance, and that's a good thing. While at the same time, they can actually do something about their appearance. Also, we should legally protect the hashtag Bodypositivity so that no one makes money off it who doesn't fit the message. It would be best to ban everyone from using it, except for her, because she is the only true fat one. Furthermore, we don't know how far this should go, because for her, it's already discriminatory when she goes to the doctor of her own will, and the doctor asks her how much she weighs for her own health. Also, she has a mental illness, the eating disorder, which she admits herself. Incredibly crazy. Do you actually notice the absurdity of these people? So that's it for today, guys. I hope you're excited for more. If you like this video, leave me a like. Drop a comment on what you think of this video and what you think about body positivity. If you want to support my channel, leave me a subscription. And if you'd like to see my opinion on any specific video, write it in the comments. Until next time, your Adnan from Adnan Does It.